we should be just waiting for my preview to catch up. Confirm. If my audio is working, let me know. We're back to trying this out. So, I've got my noise cancellation back on because it's summer, evidently. The AC is running outside of this window, so to make it more bearable for you to listen to. Here we are. Anyway, tonight, bit to work on. Not anything crazy. I've been working on Class 1. Surprise. And I've got some more jigs here that I've printed up. These are for my sliders. My send cut all showed up. So, going to take a look at that. I've got a few of the parts cut off of the parts tree, as one may be inclined to call it. You know, I had all the parts treed together in a way like that with more parts in the middle. And I was trimming some pieces off so that I could have them to start like mocking up into the jigs. And let me tell you, this titanium absolutely just dulls bandsaw blades in a heartbeat. So we got the ones that we needed cut off, which, well, that's not true. I got 3 of the 4, but we'll get an idea. We'll get an idea. So anyway, hope all of your weeks, well, I hope they're at least over. If they didn't go well, at least they're over. So, unless, of course, you have to work on the weekends, many people do. So, where's that wife of yours? She's like, am I going to be on tonight? And I'm like, well, let me tell you. The studio is such a disaster that there's going to be quite a bit of work ahead of me if I need to get it cleaned out enough for you to join. She's like, I'll take tonight off. That's good. That's a good call. Because it is, it's a madhouse in here right now. So, let's see. Would a cutoff wheel be better than a bandsaw? Generally, no. I mean, while it may cut through better, when you're talking about parts like this, you're not going to get a cutoff wheel in here without hitting this or that by the time you get through it. So, generally not, as far as like actually getting parts cut off and in a clean way, and you know, to preserve the look of your parts. So, this is generally, by all means, all of those tools are handy, and I usually select the ones that I feel are best. RC Underdog, thank you, sir. Just show it how much of it. Oh. So, to that side, there you go. We got the pull starter for the trike here that I have to install. That's the bag for that. Is all. We've got the gimbal for my M50 Stoner, some mold release wax, in case you're wondering. Some McMaster car stuff, a parts tray, a vinyl squeegee, which could go in its home, a scraper, a spoon for some reason. So many more things. Let me tell you, that story can be repeated for then this side, and then here, and then over there. Yeah. Yeah. You know. Let's see. Is that a Cobalt desk over there? No, it is a Yukon. Close. But, you know. Nice spoon. Does the Ender 5S1 run better than a Prusa? No, it does not. But it runs, and my Prusa currently does not, because 2 of the parts that I needed were on back order. So, you know. Anyway. Why is that not carbon fiber or titanium? Wait, what? I don't know what part. Cereal spoon. It's actually a yogurt spoon. And there's a reason why it is in here. It is because if I want to eat yogurt, I have to come into this room and close that door. Otherwise, as soon as you just start to peel the lid of a yogurt container, Chief is in your face because Chief is obsessed with yogurt. That's it. The yogurt is the only food. But if he hears a yogurt container, it's on. So, like to show you a bit of what I've got going on here for the jig. This print isn't the cleanest for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why, but it'll be all right. So the this piece here is simply a jig to confirm the bend. This is a piece of titanium here, so it will have a small kick in it, and this will just confirm that I've got the bend correct. Obviously, a flat piece does not show that, so that is what that piece will do. And then once I do have the bent piece, it will sit down in this jig from here, and then the bend will go out there. So as this shows, it will, sits properly there, and then the bend would follow and then kick through that portion. So that is one part. These are my slider bases, I'll call it. So this is what will bolt to the side of the chassis, and my servo mount will actually bolt onto this part here. And let's see, do I have the right one? Nope, this will go this way. So this is going to get bolted into this fixture just like that. So sits in there and it gets bolted on. Now you can see there's holes all the way through, so I can get the actual screw head through the fixture and be able to secure it in place. And we're going to do that tonight while I'm on here. And once that is in there, then I've got some other little jigs to show you how it all works. But the basis of the story is that once this is in there, the rod will get fitted there to come out from the actual slider itself, or from the slider base to the outside slider tube. Maybe that will make more sense. I'm probably doing a poor job of explaining it because it's early in a stream and I'm not in my rhythm yet. No, it just is what it is. I'd like to see Chief coming running at yogurt. I don't know if we have. Maybe we have some left. I don't know if we do. I'm telling, it's pretty amazing. He is, and I mean, it's probably because we've reinforced it a little bit, because we'll give him like a boop on the nose, and then he's good. Sent you a manga painted Porsche on Instagram. Let me tell you, I've been getting a lot of Porsches in my messages on Instagram. A lot of the same ones over and over, but some of the new ones I have not seen. Now I probably won't be doing a, whatever that's called, manga paint job on that, because I'm only going to be painting a portion of it, or actually may not even be painting. It may be a very small partial vinyl wrap. All right, 1 and 2. These are mirrored. 1 and 2. Need those there. So let's throw some hardware on this thing, and that way it will make more sense. Can I tell you the other thing? So lately, everything is falling apart here. I feel like I'm gonna have to start over on so much with this studio. And so this light here started flickering 2 nights ago, so I need to replace it. I kind of need to replace this one as well because it's got a little bit of a fan noise. So I need to replace those 2 lights. Then this computer and that computer probably at the point where they need replacing. That one's about 5 years old. This one's maybe 3, but it's not built. It's not built to like as high of a spec as I would have liked to in here. I just did it when I was just like trying to get something put together. So I need new lighting, new computers, and I was venting to Nicole a little bit. And I sat down in here that night after venting to her about this light starting to flicker while I was filming. And when I sat down, the retainer for the back of this chair went pop. So now the back will not stay where it's supposed to, and it just always comes all the way forward. I'm like, oh. It's like, okay, I need to start slowly going through and replacing the things I need so that I'm not as ridiculously frustrated. Will my Class 1 chassis be made by Vanquish? Not likely. It's so specific. Why? I forgot the Porsche. I need to go grab that out of the garage. Well, I'll have Nicole do it. I left the Class 1 in the garage, which... Just get another Ewan chair. That's what I might... But except in here for the live streams, when I like to just... When I'm just in here for like 3 hours straight and I almost don't stand up, I really like an all mesh back and bottom. The chair's not that old. The chair kind of is, though. It's probably 2.5 or 3 years old. And you gotta remember, like, I am in this chair a lot. You know, like, when you guys see me in here on video. When you don't see me in here on video, I'm in here working on trucks or on video. So, like, this chair gets more use than, I mean, not more than my office chair at work, but freaking close. So go baller and get a Herman Miller. See, I had a human scale before, and I liked them. And a Herman Miller is possible. I do appreciate good chairs. The human scales I kind of liked, but you know, I don't know if it's the route that I want to go. So we'll see. And it's not even the fact of like I don't know what I want to get. It's the fact of like it's a snowball. Like I need to replace it quick. I need to replace hardware here. I need to replace this hardware. I need to replace that hardware. I need to get organized. And just damn it. So this is the slider base mounted to the backside of the jig, screwed in, screwed through the holes all the way through the face, goes to the back. So that's step 1. Now, step 2 are, I've got these separate blocks here, and you can see that those say 1 and 2. And that's because those go, this is the passenger side. So I actually have 2 other ones that say 1 and 2, but they're mirrored because I designed this as the driver's side and then mirrored all the parts. But number 1 will go towards the front, and it goes on separately here, but it screws on from the bottom. All right. And the reason for that is that I want to be able to have it here, confirm that everything's going to be lining up properly and all. And I also want to be able to not have to have it there when I'm welding joints that are closer, because this one will melt with how close it is to where the weld joint will be. And while that's not a big deal, I would just rather not have to clean up tubes. So this will allow me to have it in there during setup, but remove it for when I'm actually doing final welding. An extra step that is not really needed, but never stopped me before. So we're going to bolt those on. Which one? Mirrored number 1. Now I didn't countersink those screws. I second a wooden rocker chair. Jesus. Falling apart over here. So getting these jigs all set up is my first step for tonight, and then I'll probably, I have the front bumper jig also designed, but I have not printed it yet. I'll probably get that print started right after this stream, because there's a chance that I could get both of these sliders done tonight and possibly be ready to weld on the front bumper by the time that I'm done with the sliders. There we go. Why am I doing this by hand? There we go. Okay, so looks like we're just about properly lined up. Yeah. So you can see how that tube there lines up through that saddle and through the slider base. That way I can have it nice and supported while I put the other one, and then get it all marked. Tell you what, the extra bit of time that it takes to do this stuff in CAD, it sure pays for itself when it comes to build time, because you don't have to sit there and think and keep going and going and going. It just makes the fab time kind of, I'm not going to say brainless, but like as nearly brainless as it could be. So I sent all these files to Matt, and he started printing them as well. Now, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm actually super interested to see how it works out for Matt, because when I'm doing this with a TIG welder, I'm able to, you know, put heat into things so much faster than brazing. So the real test is going to be, can these jigs be helpful for someone who is brazing instead of TIG welding or welding of any sort? Because in the end, I've discussed it a little bit, but in the end, I kind of have this goal of being able to do a project like this and be able to offer to other people to join in as well. But if it's not possible to do with slightly more obtainable or basic tools, then it really isn't a great proof of concept to take full advantage, at least. Go. Joker 510714. Thank you. That quality session was crazy at the end. Hi all. It was I think it's been long enough since qualifying was on that I'm not going to be like you know, a big spoiler alert. Like, it happened at 4 a.m. California time. So if you haven't watched qualifying yet and you haven't seen the results yet, I don't want to say spoilers, but man, it's gonna be hard not to. So it absolutely was. I watched it first thing this morning. All right. So that is the base of our passenger side slider jig. We'll have tubes that go through here and through here that intersect a tube that is out here and that goes up through that way. So I'll cut to final length once it's kind of on the car and I've marked it, that whole deal. After those tubes are in, this piece, another just piece of titanium, and it will sit right there. You can see there's holes underneath of it that will line it up. So that will hold it into position so I can weld it onto the tubes below. Audio's going in and out. That's my concern. Hopefully not too bad. I'm going to turn the noise removal down. I turned noise removal down. The AC did kick on, so maybe that's triggering it. But actually, tell me if this is bad. So that's noise removal off completely. The AC is running right now. Is it terribly annoying? So let mean it's fine. So can't hear it. Okay, then we'll be fine. The microphone is directional enough that it's not that bad. Can't hear it at all, not bad. Okay. That's fine then. So yeah. I'll just leave this off completely. We'll switch directly to the microphone. And we're good. I'm glad to hear that. Because that has been a bit of a frustration point. Loud noises. Let's see. I see the flicker. Yeah. It's not flickering right now. It hasn't been consistent enough to actually send me in a full tailspin, because otherwise we would be having like nighttime calm. Just I'm gonna sit here and read comments because I can't do it with the. I mean, it was like a scary movie flicker. RC After Dark. Yeah, exactly. And just go straight this style. We just be talking about the calm, relaxing nature of. I can turn one on at a time. Here's my face light only. Then we've got the hair light, which is this one above here. And lastly, the one that's the problem child, and that's that one. I feel like I need to confess my sins. Oh, what I do like, though, is the fact that I bolted on that top plate, and I can take that 3/16 titanium and just slide it through the saddle, and it lines straight up with that slider base. Just the perfect amount of over-engineered. I'm really, really happy with this stuff. Taking that time and doing the extra effort to make the jigs makes everything just a little less stressful. Makes me feel good about myself. But like I was saying, and I did tell Matt my car idea for next year, 2024 scale mats. Like, hey, how about this one? So maybe I start early, because Nicole is already. What is Nicole doing out there? She's like singing or humming or something weird. 2024 is the year of the Yaris. I mean, nothing's impossible. Ah, boy. I'm going to bolt this other side together as well. Is she doing the murder hum? What is the murder hum? I don't know what that is. There we go. At some point, you guys should do a 4:1 scale Lego truck. That would pretty much look like the Sorka rules. If we mold each individual block out of carbon and then we still put them together. How far do you adjust tolerances for holes to go to send cut send? Kind of depends. It depends on the material that I use and how tight that I want it, and if I'm okay with a tighter fit, like if I really want it to be tight for fitment for welding, or if I want it to be a slip fit. If it's a slip fit hole like these here where hardware will go through them, I'll size them between like 3.1 and 3.5 millimeters. So these holes here where the tube goes through, I think I did 10 thou over. So just enough, like a normal slip fit would be like 4 to 8 thou. So I went to 10. It's just habit for me when I'm designing. I just design a certain way and I don't really think about it that much. So that's kind of something in that realm, at least. All right. Put on the other side of this fixture. Fish bill. Thank you, sir. Panda Express and Harley Live. Good night. Panda Express order. Everyone put their Panda Express order in? If you don't eat Panda Express, you're missing out. Steamed rice. The sweet fire and kung pao. That's the order. Gunner, get my meat in your mouth. Nissen, look at you. Hello, all. Just got home from work. Having to work for money is BS, but Josh is such a bad influence on everyone. Buying stupid crap, 2 nights code. Hashtag bad influencer. That's a good, bad influencer is just a good one. I like that one a lot. It's like has 2 meanings. That's a solid code, Gunner. Come on here. There we go. Sweet fire, teriyaki, orange chicken, fried rice. Oh, okay. Peppered steak, can't lose. Beijing beef, never had that one. Sizzling shrimp is excellent. That is excellent. You go 2024. So I tried to get Matt to kind of go that route, specifically with the Lada. So like the Russian Lada. Would have been cool, but I think I ended up then suggesting the Porsche instead, and obviously that he was like, yeah, he was all for it, even though he was for the Lada. It was just my bit going in, but it felt like it was just going to disappear, and I just have this like internal fear of this thing disappearing into my finger again. Even though my finger wasn't on the other side of that hole. That thing wants more blood. I know. PTSD moment is... And it's weird because I was looking for a photo today in my camera roll for something at work. Because I was like trying to like find the dates of something based on other photos in my phone. And I have a photo in my phone of what my finger looked like right after I did it. And I ran across it. I was like, oh God, it was bad. Like, I think it was after like I had done it and I had washed it and super glued it and washed it and but it was still like very much, you could see it. I'm like, whoa. The RC Underdog just got back from picking up carne asada fries. Oh, how do you go through the process of picking a day to stream? Well, at this point, it's just schedule, right? But I can tell you so when Matt and I did the budget builds, or when Matt and I do a lot of these series, they're on Wednesdays, right? Like that was our live stream day. That's when we do Road to the Rockies. That's when we did Scale Nationals and the budget builds and all of that. And that all goes back to my very first budget build, which I did every Wednesday. And I bet nobody will get this, but there is a reason that I chose Wednesdays. And it was because of another popular YouTuber who, back when I kind of started those series, that person was posting and that person would say, we post videos every Wednesday. And that person had a lot of success with YouTube. And I was just like, there it is, doing it on Wednesdays. So it was because of another specific YouTuber who was just like, post videos every Wednesday. They said that at the end of every one of their videos when they asked people to subscribe. But yeah, that is how that started. Yeah, the meowing is. Sookie is on one tonight. I think she can hear me talking. Sookie will sit there and meow if Nicole and I are trying to have a conversation, Sookie is trying to be in the middle of that conversation. Hey, Nicole, if you're actually listening, will you go grab the Porsche out of the garage? Okay. There we go. There we go. No one has even tried to guess who that old YouTuber was that made me do every Wednesday. I'll tell you at the end. Ow, ow. Or in 10 minutes. Mr. Beast. This was way before Mr. Beast, as far as I'm aware. Because like when I started my first budget build, it was maybe like 2013. So it was a popular YouTuber in 2013-esque, around that. So, what water jug is that? It is the Drink Tanks 64 ounce. Yeah. Make sure everything lines up on this one before we bolt everything in. Oh wait, I can't bolt the other one in because it's still attached to this. Pretty sure Nicole just threw something in there. Chris Kelly nailed it. That is exactly right, Chris Kelly. Jenna Marbles. Go back and watch her videos from around that point, and at the end of them, she'd have her dog there, and she's like, we post videos every Wednesday. So, Chris Kelly, you are exactly right. And that is why I stream on Wednesdays and post my video series on Wednesdays. That's all. Never heard of her. She was huge on YouTube around that time. What does she do on her channel? It was like early YouTube stuff. Didn't she take down her channel? Did she really? Oh, I don't... had no idea. I haven't seen anything from her in a long time. I mean, you know, she did like just something about recent. Oh, wow. I definitely don't follow up. But RC Underdog, it was a great question for a story that I've never told anybody. Jeremiah Salver, thank you, sir. Just got RC Rock Pirates sliders for my VS410. Now I'm going to make the VS410 sliders fit on my OG SCX10 build. I also got a pair of AX10. Well, the sliders should bolt right up because it's basically the same pattern. So super easy. She left right after Morpheus passed away. I don't know who Morpheus is other than like the person from the Matrix. Last Gen of Marvels was 2 years ago. What do you know? But yeah, that's the... Oh! Dang, I had no idea. Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne is not dead. Right. I was like, I feel like I'd have known that one. I was like, is Morpheus another YouTuber? She bought some land up north, has a husband and a boyfriend. They shoot OnlyFans and release on Wednesdays. Oh, that's funny. That is truly, truly funny. Oh my God. So these I will have to, well, one of them at least, I'll have to use a cutoff tool on. The front bumper tangs I've got here already. So these are cut off. I've got a jig that I need to print for these. It'll hold both sides of the bumper appropriately spaced, and it'll also support both of the curved front tubes. There'll be one curved front tube that goes all the way out from edge to edge on the body, and then the lower one will just basically go between the two bumper supports. It'll give me a place to run my winch line, keep it nice and centered, and you know, just a little bit of added style with two tubes instead of only one. I do think that I'll have the benefit of those tubes being, or the single tube being extra rigid, as this titanium is super strong. Whereas Matt's going to be using DOM, and the DOM is a little bit easier to bend, so a good impact on a tube could have an effect. He may have to add some bracing, I don't know. But this titanium is like, you can bend it real decent and it will go perfectly back straight. Whereas DOM steel, if you'd bent it that far, it would probably be kind of stuck to about that point. BT coming in, just checking in. Good evening, all. Ben, good to see you, sir. Hope all is well. Haven't seen you around in a bit. We have been we've been busy. Hopefully you've been checking the 911 build progress as it goes. So what grade titanium are you using? Grade 5. All of this is grade 5. Grade 2 would be cheaper and I believe a little bit easier to weld. However, the grade 5 that I was given is grade 5. The titanium I was using was grade 5. So therefore, all the laser cut pieces I buy grade 5. My filler rod is grade 5. It just is the way it is. Snowballed that way. And I think that grade 5 is stronger. I don't know that it's strong enough that it would matter at this scale, like the difference. But does that metal spark? Yes, it sparks bright white, which is super cool. This is the same titanium I used on the Mayhem build. And when I flipped that thing upside down and it sparked across the pit, it throws the bright white sparks that stay hot as they dribble off into the concrete. But yeah, I really enjoy the titanium stuff. I think it's super fun and looks good. Grade 5 is also my last grade at a certain Canadian. You leave Jenna Marbles out of this. She is a saint. But yeah. And then I don't remember why I started streaming on Fridays. Like that was just during COVID and all that kind of started, but yeah. I put titanium scrape plates on my infraction. So cool. And I put them on my infraction as well, but I have not seen them spark yet. So, and I've geared it so fast that it's not really a good basher now. So I feel like I'll never get to really enjoy those unless there's just like the perfect time where I have just the wrong reaction and I absolutely send them up. Now I did buy twice as many of all of the parts that I needed, just in case I was to screw anything up. I have an opportunity to do another one, not so that I could build mats. That's not why I bought 2 of everything. But just in case, I bought double. So like if I don't need them, I could bolt a couple of these to the bottom of my infraction. Hey Josh, what's the story of the gnome out in front of the garage? So I had a memory pop up on my Facebook, and it was a memory from like 13 years ago. But when I posted it, it was a memory from before that, like probably 10 years. So 20 some years ago, when my friends and I were dumbass, just out of high school kids, we would go cruising at night, right? You'd go cruise wherever you did in your town to try and meet chicks. And some of our just escapades while we were bored with that or done with that or whatever it was for the night, we would drive through neighborhoods and rehome lawn ornaments. And this specific lawn ornament we decided to rehome to my house many years ago. And I still have it. And it's my yard gnome now. And I just always have it. So something that me and my high school buddies can reminisce about. Have you seen anything from Hemistorm? I haven't in a while. Yeah, he was posting about his laser not that long ago, but that was probably the last thing that I remember seeing. He got that laser and he was building it on the back of that tiny little FMS FJ. Oh, you stealing? We were rehoming. Yeah, again, stupid stuff we did as teenagers. Like, I'm so glad that camera phones weren't of any quality at the time. And that they didn't take video for sure. I remember we used to videotape with like an actual camcorder. A lot of things that I'm glad those tapes disappeared, because many of them would have been very illegal. And so dumb. So probably should admit, so long ago. None of them were crimes that, didn't have a statute of limitations, so at least I'm safe there. That's what happened to our gnome. Listen, there was many. If we saw a lawn gnome, it went on a list. We scoped it out. Being that COVID is mostly done, will we see an increase in new releases from Tracks, etc., or is this the status quo? BT, I think that it might be a bit of the opposite. This was a comment that came up maybe last week on my comments, because someone was like, hey, there's a big shortage of parts from like this brand and this brand and this brand, like of all these different parts. And they're like, are we running into supply chain issues again because of like COVID type things in other countries or anything like that? And I said I think that it's actually a side effect, or it's almost like how would you say this? Because of what happened during COVID, I'll just go to the beginning. During COVID, everyone was stuck at home. Well, while everyone was stuck at home, they were looking for things to do, and hobby stuff in general was a very popular thing. So people were buying up hobby related things, and sales in the hobby industry were crazy high. So there was an influx in cash to a lot of companies. And what that then caused is that they're like, order trucks, order cars, release new projects, do whatever you can, put money into it to grow. Well, last year when I was at NRSA, which is that National Retail Hobby Store Association dealer show, there's a lot of manufacturers there as well. And a lot of the manufacturers, or many manufacturers, were all in very similar situations, which was they had a lot of inventory and they weren't in the, COVID sales volume did this. Their inventory was like trying to catch up. Well, as the sales volume started to level off, and a lot of those orders that were placed beforehand from manufacturers started to come in, like they ended up with way more inventory than they needed. So that was why throughout the last, call it 9 to 12 months or so, you've seen there was a lot of inventory reduction type sales because there was just more parts than were needed to be on hand. And now most companies have sold off what they over ordered from COVID, sales projections. And now they're just not ordering as aggressively, so they don't get themselves in that same place. So at that same point, then new releases will likely kind of fall in with that. The exception, I would say, would be projects that were started during that time, like full vehicle projects, because a full vehicle can take 12 to 18 months. And if they were booming during that period and they launched new projects, some of those projects could still be getting dropped now. So like this year, I've been doing the RTR count on the Scale News, and I think we're over 30 at this point, like 31. And that number is insanely high compared to last year. And last year was super high. So I find the whole market super interesting. I always try, and it's just, yeah. I don't know if people care as much as I do, but I love me some numbers and stats and trends. Dale C., what's going on, sir? I'm about to start pouring some concrete base for a deck. After I'm done with that, I'm totally down to help with your procrastination with Wreckfest. Ooh, Dale, maybe still, even though what I should be doing is start welding on these. Like, the welding on this is going to be so quick. Like, do I really need to? So, we'll see. Maybe. I guessed 47. I'm thinking I'm going to be off just a little bit. Tim, that would have been a super reasonable guess. I think, because last year I think that there was 50, if I remember, like 53 or 54 RTR releases that I've covered in the news that fell within our area. And this year, I'm betting that we could see 80 as a guess. Now we're going to come into the summer. Summer is the slow time in hobby sales. You're slowest in general throughout all types of the hobby. While you would think it would be popular because people are running their cars and things like that, it's just not the case. People are outside doing things. They're traveling for holidays. They're doing all that. So like the summer is the slow time. Team Garage Hack, what's happening, sir? Good evening. I've finally been home more than 36 hours. Imagine catching 2 live streams in 1 week. I know. We've been wondering where we had a TGH signal out for a little while, try and see if Glad you're home. Hopefully you're getting to enjoy some family time. You're not going to have a class 2 or 3. Hey? You don't know. I don't know. TRX4 needs to be updated. BT, like, I know what you mean, because that car's been out between 5 and 6 years, roughly at this point, right? So, you know, that's without much of an update. Like the first one had all of the features that basically you see now, other than like clipless body mounts, some of the light stuff, clear windows, things like that. If I was to guess, though, I would say that platform is not going to see an update in the next 5 years. I would say that the majority of that platform will stay exactly as it is right now for at least 5 years. Bodies, fenders, things like that, fully could be a new one. But those axles, that transmission, that chassis, that's what you get. One word, slash. Exactly. That slash is basically unchanged since 2007 or 8, 2008. Remember I had it. Yeah. It's wild. What was the other? Actually, my first slash, I believe that my first slash came with 2222 wheels. It didn't have a 2230. Like the very first one I had, which was right when it got released, was an Amsoil theme on it, I believe. And yeah, had 2222 wheels. And they changed to 2230 very shortly after, if I remember correctly. Bandit is crazy old, throw a new body on it, sells like, it's exactly right. Those are 2.8 wheels. Not the case. Let's see. I like the Traxxas kept the open diffs around, saved the steering on my half track. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Just here, yes, avoiding. Great pastime. I don't. Oh, talking about planes now. I don't know. I'm a Cletus McFarland fan. I'm sure some of you are as well. And he's been doing his aviation content lately because of his full-size plane. And then he had a Carbon Cub that he was using today in an ad. And I do want to fly more. I've got a couple of planes. I should fly more. I enjoyed soaring a lot more than I did the FPV drone stuff, like freestyle. But I do like the FPV aspect of it. So, yeah. Speaking of which, don't you have a Draco to fly? I do not have a Draco, Dana. That is incorrect. Ben is the one who has the Draco that I don't know if he flew or not. Yeah. Do you think we will see flying cars 2 in this lifetime? You know what? I feel like it's going to be difficult to raise funding for that one. You need to build that orange plane you got. They're super fun. I mean, I should build it. It's in my pile of things to sell, but I should, in all of my free time. Yeah, FPV planes are a thing. I have my Delta Wing stuff that is FPV planes. So, yeah, absolutely. And, there's like the head tracking stuff, which is what I would really like to do. But, again, it's just another thing. There's Ben. Never flew the Draco. Ended up selling it. I heard that they were a little bit difficult. Or they like had some quirks about flying them. But, man, they were cool looking. And so, yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, my jigs are built as I can get them tonight. Well, during the stream at least. And I am super pumped with that. The B2 Cletus has pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Not my favorite. Like, I like the B2, but it's not like my favorite plane. And so, like, while I enjoyed it, I just, you know. Here's my 1/4-inch thick steel servo horns that I'll be using for the bell crank setup on the Porsche. This is, you know, a little overkill, but it's going to be good. I'll probably pin these, or pin the top one on. I bought way more than I needed for this, possibly because I may have to build mats on this part. So, TGH, thank you, sir. Nope, no rest. I have a C2 to build for Sunday's Rocky Mountain RC Judge Practice Comp here to free to the public. We're running 2 courses to test the judges' outline and schedule, hoping to move 30 drivers through 2 courses in 2 hours. Oh, that's a good opportunity. I assume that means you guys are doing it at Red Feathers? Hopefully so. If anyone's in that area, hopefully they go check that out, because that could be pretty cool. Hopefully someone shoots some video at that TGA, or just like some social media stuff. I would like to see, not this time, next. Oh, okay. Well, good judges practice regardless. Looking forward to that. And did you flip the X? Oh. Did you do a bell crank to keep the servo low for body clearance? Yep, it is. It's solely for body clearance. The way that the hood comes down in that Porsche, even a low profile servo would absolutely not clear. And, you know, the lowest of profiles still just would not get it done. So the bell crank was the way to go. The only other method would have been like a lay down servo mount, and those, like, the geometry of a lay down servo mount just is improper. It does not, you're going to have bump steer if you have a decent length panhard. You can try and minimize it, but it's never going to go away just because that's how physics works. You know, I see people try and argue it all the time. It's just like, it doesn't, it just doesn't work. It's okay. Or do a CEN 250 steering system. Why do I not remember that? I don't remember what that steering setup was like. I think I have one here. I don't remember if it's here at the office, but I do have one. Watts Link, isn't it? Watts Link is the suspension, not the steering. A Watts Link is just the method for a panhard, basically. It's just what helps keep your axle centered. It's like 2 panhards that run to a bell crank in the center. They're very cool. Oh, that's right. It had a really long servo horn to another bell crank. I'm remembering that now. Kind of. Wow. It's been a minute since I looked at that car. So I do like the orange body, though. You know, not going to lie there. So there's that. I should go grab the Porsche. Remember from the Scale News update? Yes. Let's squat the other one. So, you know what? The people liked it for some reason. For some silly reason. CEN for sale. None currently. I still have the F250. Maybe I should sell it, but not right now. I gave the KG1 version to my buddy Brandon's son John so he can pull a trailer, even though Brandon still needs to build his son the trailer. Slacking. Let's see. What happened to the audio Sen 450? That's just on me. It's still, that project is still going at the stereo shop. It's getting, what's it currently getting? It's going in for an any level lift and 30-inch wheels on 42-inch tires currently. So it'll be back at the shop, and at that time, hopefully, I can get it finished this summer. I think that the truck is currently at the audio shop. But yeah, that's that one I still need to get. I still need to get wrapped up because that will be fun. If Matt beats you in Colorado, you should have to build and compete with a Leaf Spring next comp. Didn't you trade one for an Afghan? Yes, I traded the blue squatted Sen F450 for an Afghan. And I use it all the time because it's awesome. Let's see. TGH Road to the Rocky Mountain Regionals practice day. Yeah, perfect video. I definitely want to see it. Especially when you guys are up at the site. I'd love to see more, like, some coverage from up there. Plus, I want to know what the temperature is going to be like. Oh my God. I'm afraid it's going to be so cold. 33-inch wheels? No, 30-inch wheels. Not 33-inch. That would be ridiculous. 30-inch wheels on 42-inch tires. So, yeah. On an any level lift. It's going to be rad. Can you show your bell crank system you have going on? I can. I need to go grab it. Oh, that's the page. Sick. Excellent. I will find that. It's supposed to be 70 tomorrow and 60 Sunday. Ben, man, I want some 42s. Ben, how about some 30-inch wheels for them? Yeah. Remember when dubs were big? Now that's OEM. Pff, yeah, OEM minus. Like, you get 21s on a car. It's just like, Matt Sanchez. Thank you, sir. First time caller. Ben, go 54s. Just 20. I'll allow, I think 20s on 42s will still look great. I think 20s on 35s look really good. Do you still have the computer trailer? Nope. Drop that off to EVGA. So that sits there. This is why I drive a Yaris. Rolling on 14. It's hard to find tires for 14s sometimes, though, Alex. I think it's easier to find 20-inch tires than 14-inch tires. Your selection will definitely be better. I just put 26 14s on 37s. Wait, the numbers are backwards or something on that. Oh, I see. 26 by 14-inch wheels on 37. Yeah. I'm rolling on 12s. Yeah. I'm a big fan of big wheels. It's the way to go. Metric Fox body rims. Oh my God. I'm going to text Nicole to go do it. I'm sure she just didn't pay. Nicole, will you go grab the Porsche in the garage? Lift it carefully. Like asking for a favor, but being very specific. Be careful when you do it. 20s on my 17-year-old minivan all year. 20-inch tires or wheels? Yeah. Donk build after the Porsche? Oh, it would be fun to do like a... But it's just one of those things. Like, I know it would be fun to do that. But it would take almost all the same amount of work to do as a build like this. And then I feel like I just want to get the Red Cat set up with the wheels that they have, and just, I'll be super happy just to have a donk that I can do this stupid stuff with, and I'll be good. I'll be good. Yeah, that's donk mayhem. Donk racing, there's so many. Like, donk racing is or donk mayhem. Like, it's kind of a basic thing. You just gotta... I 3D printed the STL Sunday Barstool car, and everyone that sees it loves it. You should sell the file. I'm fine with giving that stuff away. I think it's fun. Those little files like that, I have more fun just seeing people make them because they're stupid. Like, it's the silliest, stupid little thing. Like, people should just go nuts with those. Print them, have fun. Like, it's pointless anyway. The stuff I sell is like the cages and things that like I didn't need for me. I didn't do for a live video. I just did them. So it's like, those I sell. I like to try and give away as many files as I, feel I can. Any reason for using a pin in the steering instead of cutting a spline or a square fit? Well, yeah, a lot of reasons really. Cutting a spline takes a lot of special tools.
Is this what you want?
Yep. Thank you. So cutting a spline takes very specific tools, an external or an internal spline. You either need broaching or you need to, specific equipment to index and cut. So splining is really like almost out of the, that's not a realistic thing. Square fit, you're just looking at tolerance issues. So unless you get the tolerance just right, then you're just gonna you're gonna have slop, and you either need to then pin it still, and if you want to do that, you've weakened the shaft by taking material away already. So pinning it is the easiest way to get it to have as little slop as possible while maintaining the most strength in the shaft. And the only other way that I would have done it is just actually weld the entire system on there and make it non-serviceable. So those were my two options. So the body here, put over there wherever it fits. But you got the motor sitting in there now with the exhaust back there and all. You can see that rear fan sits, and it comes just out of that rear skid. It's not focusing on the right part, but whatever. So it's all sitting in there, sitting close to the chassis like it's supposed to. Looking good. What was I going to show you guys with this? Oh, the bell crank stuff. Yes, that's what it is. I know it, guys. Square drive for connections on a gear that doesn't have enough diameter to house it. It can, for sure. CNC square cut, not that bad. You can broach them, yes. But for a one-off boutique thing, let me tell you, like some of it I could have like I could machine the shaft on the Citizen at work, which is the machine I program. But at the same time, I don't feel like breaking into production. So, anyway, what we've got here, well, the bottom one currently, can I show you? So the bottom one on there currently is a hand-cut servo horn that is brazed on, or brazed, TIG brazed specifically. But it's in there. And then the top is an actual servo horn that I cross-drilled and put on there. But the reason that I had these cut is because taking a servo horn and drilling it through to a 5mm diameter, which that precision shaft was, then there's only a thin piece of it that actually has the material for that. The actual spline area is slightly bigger, so I would either needed to go to 6mm shaft, and I didn't. Just makes the bearings bigger, makes everything pain in the ass. So instead, I just had these cut. We'll spot and drill through, and we'll be set. It's super easy. So this will replace what's on top there, and it'll make that whole system super rigid. I'll remake the top and bottom with this and go from there. Ooh, I'm missing stuff here. EDM would be obviously it's super high precision. I could do that on this side, not on the shaft side. Again, though, it's like the setup and all that for it, or the availability, would be such such a pain. This is a very easily manufacturable way, and I figure that Matt will be able to do this with his tools, which isn't much, right? You don't need much. You just, a drill press is ideal, and that's really all you need is a drill press. So, wasn't there some sloppy wanted to take out with those bigger servos? I don't know what that means. Wasn't there some? Can you show the balance on that build? I mean, there's nothing in it currently. The cage isn't put on, the body isn't on, the body isn't complete, the battery isn't in there, so it's not very representative yet until it's all there. But at this point, it's still pretty forward heavy. So I don't know, a little bit on the front edge of the skid plate, but still without everything in there, without a cage, no battery yet, no interior. Is it lagging or just me? Well, I haven't dropped any frames here, so it could be YouTube having a day. What do you use for a drill press that holds those tiny bits? I mean, I just have a regular bench top drill press. When I'm drilling it, like this cross drill here, I'll spot drill first, which I don't know if I have a spot drill in here. No, I don't. My spot drills are out in the garage, but a spot drill is absolutely a tool that I would suggest to anybody, especially for like doing a round shaft like that. You put that in there, put the spot drill down, and it won't walk. It'll stay perfectly centered. I put the piece of material itself into a machinist vise that I can place on the table, and then spot drill, and then swap over to the little 2mm bit for the 2mm material. I don't over drill it at all. I just go right to a 2mm and just go all the way through, and it works great. But yeah, I'm guessing it's a build designed for descents, not climbs. No, that's why the weight bias is forward. But again, it's not completed, so like, it'll have about, in the end, it'll have about the same bias I normally have. I'll want it kind of like at the front of the links with everything on. Right now it's a little bit more forward, but I've got to add the body and interior cage, all those things. And, I still have weight to adjust. I don't have springs on it. Yeah, I mean, it's all just, gotcha, I'll have to get a spot drill. Absolutely. And spot drills are cheap. So get yourself a 1/4-inch spot drill, and you'll be so surprised how nice it is. It's also great for cleaning up around a drilled hole, like you can deburr with it. Oh, so good. Dremel has a drill press mount I use to spot drill. But you know what? I think Matt even had one of those at one time. Off topic, but do you think Ripper Cage will come back at some point, or parts for them? Nope. Hard no. I can answer that for sure. 0% chance. 0.0. Yeah. That's there is your hard answer. Would you consider getting a Capo JK Max 180 Crow color? I think they're very cool. Nope, I would not. I built one of the original Capos, and I would never buy another Capo anything ever. I mean, if you want to build it purely for looks, you don't even care if they really go together that well, or if they're built very well, or if they'll work even at all as designed. That's the thing that you could do. But I would not ever buy a Capo anything. like, oh, like they had parts that like in theory would work. Like you could tell that they designed it in CAD and then just never actually built one. They just made it. And then they're like, oh yeah, they sent like 3 revisions of parts for the steering to try and get it to work before they sent a whole different version. Like, and not, I never contacted them. They just kept sending parts, like things kept, like this didn't work, this didn't work, this didn't fit. That, as bad as a GOM, the G-Made GOM was better. The G-Made GOM was better than the Capo. So, yeah. I would absolutely not waste your money on a Capo. G-Made GOM at least looked like it would still function, even if it was like weird and terrible designing. But so I've got, well, the sliders on here will get replaced probably tonight. We'll get those replaced with the titanium units. Get that done. That'll give us the base for our slider or our cage bases. These pieces here will tie into the tubes on the cage. So you can see the double B pillar back there. The double B pillar will slot into those 2 right there. Just going to replace the Pro and Ultra soonish? No. Nope. Pros and Ultras will be around until they sell out, and then they'll be gone for good. So that's a fun theory, but not necessarily something that would be around forever. The engine looks like a quad turbo just because the turbos are so big. You know, the whole engine isn't really based on reality in general. It's just kind of a design that exists just because it's, you know, how it worked out, how it fit, how I designed it. This is a non-intercooled twin turbo flat 6. Like, technically we should have some intercooler in here, even, for someone who's so interested in performance, I really kind of neglected some performance there. Meth injection, that's true. We could go that way. Wait, what did I miss? Vanquish news? No, nothing specific. We've talked about it before that the Pro and Ultra, they're basically at the end. Once those are sold out, they'll be gone. So if anybody wants a Pro or Ultra, I suggest buying one. Also, no blow-off valve or wastegate, running all the boosts. Maybe they're internally wastegated. Nitrous quick spool for the turbos. You know what? A nitrous, I could see that. Losing the Pro is still killing me because there's nothing else in the industry to fill its shoes. I mean, I know what you mean. But, it's just, it's still one of my favorite cars to this day. I fully agree. Is it, in the end, is it like really what the big mass market wants? I don't know. But there's some of us that still will love it and will pick one up. No spoon engines? Double clutching. Granny shifting, not double clutching like you should. So there's this other piece of the trans housing, kind of. There's a front portion here that's already bolted on. You can see those 3 screws. And those 3 screws, focus. Well, you can't see them because they're not focusing. Anyway, those 3 screws are what mounts to the engine, and that is the mounting feet. And then this goes on there just as an additional cover. But how I have things planned in my head, it will make more sense. Obviously, it doesn't make a ton of sense. Its actual location and a transmission when there's a transmission up here. Just let it be. It's an off-road Porsche with solid portal axles. It's a stupid enough idea as it is. that is the position of it. Windshield will be about there. The cage isn't sitting in the right spot. It's about there. An electric 6-cylinder, right? You know, yeah, like, let's not try and base our lives in reality now. It's already silly enough. The other thing is that these sliders were straight, and I added that little bend in them now, which the bend will start right here at the door and kick out just a little bit because this fender starts to flare just a hair. So, you know. But so much to do. Will the engine be visible through the back seat area? Not through the back seat area from what I can imagine at this point. Most of what I will, how I will try and make it visible is is through some windows that will be in the inner fenders to try and be able to see it, you know, this way, see it in through there. And, you know, of course, the underside, I tried to keep that skid plate so that it was visible in some ways. You know, it's going to be hidden, but yeah. Also, it should be visible through the rear trunk deck lid area. This tail here, the trunk underneath will be cut out so that it can be seen through that. But my mesh is actually in there kind of decent. There we go. Get out of there. So, but hasn't been cut out yet, as you can see. But that area, the plan is to remove all of that carbon. So, you know. It's still a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. But, you know, why not? TGH. Winchy the Winch Stick just leaked the sponsorships for TGHR Regional. Has surpassed the 22K mark. Oof. So much stuff. So much stuff. I will be happy for people to walk home with that much stuff. And hopefully the event is a massive success and happens every year. Did Nicole just get scared in the living room? No, she's hollering at the TV. I don't know what she could possibly be watching. I really don't know what she could be watching at this point that she'd be yelling like that. A baseball game? I don't know. Don't know. Josh, can we talk about the J Concepts body? The Corvair. We talked about that on the Scale News like what, a couple months ago? It was February. Middle of February. So 2.5 months ago. And yeah, finally getting to see it, right? Kansas already lost to the Twins. That sounds about right. You know how we do. All the way past the finish or we don't. Yeah, I'm excited for this event. I mean, for one, just to have the cars there, Matt and I both. But say yes to the dress. She does not watch much of like the Bravo shows. But as far as that Corvair body, I don't know. Some people, it's obviously for fans of Matt's Off-Road Recovery, right? If people like the Morvair, they may like that. Yeah, other than that, like that's it, right? Nobody else would want a Corvair crawler. I just can't see it. So, you know, I've watched some of the Matt's Off-Road Recovery videos. I like, but it's not one that I watch regularly. You know, most of the content I watch is like either drag racing or, you know, I guess mainly drag racing or fab work. And he does a little bit of that, and that's where I watch it. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If it's a wagon, I dig it. Man, it says the guy with a Porsche crawler. Oh, fully agree. This is a stupid choice too. But I also wouldn't suggest this as a production body, right? Hot Wheels NFT appraisals. I did buy myself some Series 5 Hot Wheels NFTs yesterday. So, you know, I make bad choices. AMC Eagle is going to be next year's build to be more scaled. Nope. This next year's choice could be even less scale because like off-road Porsches are a thing. Next year's, no, they're pretty on-road only. Yeah, you know. You could produce could produce and sell it for 2,000. Oh, this? Like just the body? Even just the body. If someone asked me today to just build them another body only, no cage or car underneath, and they said $2,000, I would not immediately say yes. I don't know if I would say yes at all even. I probably would say no. I would not build another one of these bodies for $2,000, even with having all the files already and everything. Like, nope, it is too much work. I don't know what number someone would have to say for me to say that I would build them a body like this. It's just the rest of the car, I think I could replicate pretty easily. I know I could because it's mainly not physical work I have to do. It's, print or CNC or whatever. It's not that bad. But the body, well, yeah, printing molds and things like that, it's so much fitting and sanding. Just TGH RC Consoles. Winch just asked if you'll use his hook again. He said, anyone with a carbon fiber Porsche crawler must like hooks. I can't wait to spend some quality time with Winchy the Winch Stick at at Colorado. Has Matt... I don't know if Matt has ever got to meet Winchy. I don't think he's been anywhere where I don't think that... Maybe Matt is Winchy. I've never seen both of them at the same place at the same time. It's all coming together now. How long will parts for the Pro be available after they're discontinued? Well, probably for a really long time because the axles are available separately. The chassis and stuff is basically the same. The bodies will be around. Like, I can't imagine anything not being available. Yeah, like for the foreseeable future. The only thing I don't know is if Winchy is also as tall. I have to do some internet detectiving to really determine if the live stream photos may be the only thing that could disprove this. Matt is almost hipster enough for Colorado. You have some work to do. I agree. I just learned you can program a Fusion Pro with the 1080 card. Yeah, same thing, same card. I don't know what is the weight like it sits. I can tell you that. I don't know. Let me grab a cell block. Oh, well, we gotta Hit tear. I don't know what fluid ounces means or milliliters. So currently we're at 5 pounds, 9 ounces. Roughly. Right in there. So, but I've got right now I probably have more brass than it needs. Is that with a battery? Nope, no battery. No battery, no interior. So, but if you throw a little battery on there, that's 2 ounces. 2.8 ounces. So about 7 when done. Maybe. There's not that much weight to add, really. Inner fenders and interior. The interior is going to be able to be pretty light with how I did it last year as well. All the electronics are in there already. The winch is in there. But it doesn't have bumpers on it yet, even though the bumper stuff, you know, like this will probably be as nine one. So this stick of titanium is 1 ounce. Like it weighs so little. That's wild. 0.9 ounces. How many rounds will it take to be shredded? Rounds? Oh, round. Well, we'll only find out if Matt beats me, because we're just going to check this one side panel here. So, how about the J Concepts Bronco body? Jeremy, I don't know if I saw that. I don't know. I'll have to check that out. It'll weigh 150 grams over Matt's. Over Matt's. I could somehow he's gonna do something. It's square in the front. I gotta look this up now. I gotta imagine it's on the J Concepts Instagram. Let's see. J Concepts. Oh, I think they have me blocked. I'm kidding. Oh. Well, that's not great. And it's hard to show in that you don't get to see the contrast in that photo very well. But that front end does not look good. Nope. The Bronco has been done so well already that to decide to do it and then release that is something I would have rethought. But at the same time, J Concepts bodies are a lot less expensive. So, you know, some pros and some cons. I don't know that I like that one. Like we need another Bronco bot. There is a lot of options. Is the Traxxas one the best one? Yeah, I think so. It's really good. How do you guys cut ferrule rods? Ferrule rods? What do you mean? I think a lot more cages should have a lot more B-pillars on the way they make the cage look so much cooler. Ryan, I can tell that you're bordering on being from the South. Like, Southern Missouri counts enough because double B-pillars and more B-pillar action is definitely something that is favored the further and further you get to rock bouncing country. TGH, hey, I have 70,000 followers. I opened up with, well, it don't look good. But why am I blocked? Listen, publicity is publicity, right? I can. It's I love Jay Concepts. He is so. Hey, I like some Jay Concepts bodies. I like the creep. It's I got the creep here on my SCX Pro. It's, you know, it's not the best looking body ever, but it's a unique style. I like that one. I liked it from before when it was the Bog Hog, Boss Hog, whatever they called it. They just have some really ugly bodies. Like, and that's of course a subjective opinion, but it's still like, it's not, I wouldn't say that I'm in the I wouldn't say that I'm in the minority where that stands. Does the J stand for joke? It stands for Jason? Is that his name? I think it's Jason. Jason something with an R. Where do I find a C4 Corvette body? In the 80s. So, yeah. Not everyone can take the heat like Team Garage. TGJ? So, anyway. Yeah, I don't know what she's on out there. Ugly bodies is how you keep the hobby culty. Wish someone would make a 300mm body for the Fortec 3.0. Yeah, you know, that's the Traxxas thing, man. They just like, you know what? We're going to just change this up and go to a different style here and let the rest of the world follow, you know, rather than just being like, you know what? There's about 1,000 200mm bodies, but no. Yeah. I do like the larger size of the Fortec in many ways, though. The larger the on-road car, the better I like it, typically. You know, that's why I love the Arma 1/7 scale stuff. The larger, like, 5th scale on-road cars are rad. I'm waiting for the SCX6 Bronco so I can put the body on my Yeti XL. Oh my God. Fire hydrant. Technically it is, because it's filled with water. And it's the best. Even though I asked Nicole to wash it out before, and it tastes a hint like Dawn. So, it's all fun and games till you catch one in the leg at speed. That's why I like to stand on things. If I'm doing speed runs, I'm like, I'm not a good enough driver to be standing at the level where this could be traveling. But I'm surprised that there's still Yeti XLs running out there. And Jeremy, I'm more power to you for being able to keep that thing going. Have you done a wheel change on a Hot Wheels yet? Nope, I have not. I've kept them all. Dog water, yum. What do you think? Brand new AR60 Rock Jocks, fully built with VP are worth? Fully built front rear sets in like new shape, $650 to $750. I have a nice XL, bro. That Phoenix U2. Yeah, it's I mean, having a nice one is the best chance of still having a running one, because it means you haven't ran it that much. I just picked up backup rear axle housing. Good. Felony or infraction? If I was buying new today, I would probably go felony, just because I feel like there's better body options for the wider rear stance of the felony. That's the only reason I would go that route. And does the felony have the handbrake? It does, right? And the infraction doesn't? Infraction has the handbrake and same size. Okay, so it's the other way around. Yeah. Felony's got the staggered wheels and tires set up. So that's still the way that I would go. What about the Limitless? I mean, It's a good option if you want to just put your own power system in it. I've got one, and I bought a power system for it, and I've never run it. The other ones just come complete, and you get to like really bash the shit out of them right away. And that stock system can go 100 miles an hour, so you know. But the Limitless looks cool to me too. I prefer my crimes to be felony. Buy lots of tires. Yeah. See, I've been lucky with tires so far, but it's because I've been just doing speed and not crazy speed. So I haven't been like doing burnouts and stuff like that. But yeah. Yeah, that's Step still hearing the audio. Mike J. What scale was the Spectrum themed car you built? That was the 1/7 scale. That was an original infraction. How do you feel about H-Tech products? I don't really know anything about them. I've seen some of the stuff that they've done, and I don't know enough about the brand to trust them or not as far as that stuff goes. So, Rolarlo's new 100 mile an hour on 4S for $399. Yep, I saw that. Again, looks interesting. And, you know, it's definitely like just a scaled down kind of copy of like a 1/7 scale Arma, which I get. I see and that you can get the full carbon fiber version with all the stuff that makes it look like the fully built speed cars with a carbon pan and big side skirts. Yeah. I watched it live when RC Driver review video create. Yeah, they're definitely trying to get the sales of that car out with the speed challenge they're posting up, trying to get people to join in. Wish it was 1/7. I mean, I guess I like the 1/7 scale better, but at the same time, if I saw a 1/7 scale, I'd be like, maybe I just buy the Arma. So I think that the 1/10 scale move was probably the right move. Is Rolardo any good? No idea. Really don't. I never owned it. The flying out to Steamboat, Colorado in June from Virginia to plan on taking my TF2 with me. I have a carry-out backpack I use, but not sure how to fly with. Yeah, so flying with an RC, it's not that bad. It's pretty easy. I generally, when I fly, I put my car in a carry-on. So I would suggest that. Put it inside the carry-on, because otherwise you start getting bulky and they're going to want you to make sure it can be stowed, and you don't want it to have to get smashed with other stuff. So put it in a carry-on, and then make sure that you don't bring any tools with you that are over 7 inches long. Like this one would be a no. If you take things like that, you can take the tips out and then they will be okay. But I recommend checking all of your tools. Put the tools in your checked bag. Keep the car with you. Put the radio in the checked bag. Like, radio can be easily replaced. You can pick up a radio anywhere if something bad were to happen. But that's my recommendation. Check all your tools, and if you especially if you have any sort of power tool, they will take it immediately. That has to be checked. So tools in the check bag. Your lipos, though, have to be in your carry-on. You cannot put lipos in your checked bag. So put the lipos in your carry-on. Put them in their own bag. Put them in a baggie, like a Ziploc bag, I think is technically even how some of it says. And tape the end, the battery plug end. Put those in there, and then I usually put that whole bag in a lipo bag just for my own, like, because that's safer than the bag that they recommend in the previous TSA guidelines. So that's really it. And it's pretty easy. I travel with them all the time, and it can be, every once in a while they'll open it up, to take a look at what the wires and all that kind of stuff look like, because it can look dangerous in an X-ray. Just be ready, be courteous, and you'll breeze right through. So, I got my carry-on confiscated for lipos in it. It's so annoying. It's interesting. I haven't seen anywhere that had lipo laws that were more restrictive than ours. But depending on where you go, you just got to do what they say anyway. They could be fully to the law, and they can still just be like, nah, this is ours now. So what are you going to do? But it's pretty easy to fly domestically with a RC. Rarely does anybody really care. Only if you're over the watt hour limit. Right. If you're over the watt hour limit, but even that is pretty excessive. And for like this type of stuff, you're not gonna have to worry about it. There's the AC again. So hopefully again it doesn't get too loud. I was gonna fly with mine, but I didn't want to have them take it. Never had I've flown so many times. You think 650, 750 with scale, knuckles, and C-hubs? Yeah. Yep, it's about what I would guess. Will you sponsor my next crawler build? Nope. Hard no. So don't say it's a block of C4 explosive. It's the only time that I've had any like real issue was up real late before my my flight, trying to get a car done before an event, big surprise, and got very little sleep. And I went to the airport super early, and I was super tired, and I had like long scruff. My beard was about longer. I hadn't shaved around it, so I looked pretty scruffy, and I was in a hoodie, and I had the hood up, and I just looked what I would imagine looks more suspicious than how I could look at times. So normally when I fly and I'll wear, I try and be as presentable and professional looking as possible. And I find that I fly through so much easier. Profiling's a thing, whatever. I luckily fall into an area where that's not normally an issue, but yeah, you're dealing with humans, so the swim shorts. What? So it looked like the Unabomber, pretty much. Yeah. I pretty much wasn't. And I was probably, headphones in and grumpy and just head down, tired. Just, I probably just looked real unapproachable with a backpack. Yeah. With a backpack with this thing in it and it was when I was comp crawling. So not scale truck. So when they see it go through the x-ray, it doesn't look like a car even, because the tires and wheels are off of it and they're over here, and it's just this, it's an MOA crawler, so it's got just these tubes and wires and motors and like, we're gonna have to take a look at that. Your blue eyes kept you out of Guantanamo. Yeah, it looks like a robot. So back then, because they did look so much not like an RC car, they don't have bodies or anything, we would fly with a magazine, because magazines were a thing then. And you'd fly with a magazine that had them like on the cover or in it and be like, hey, it's this. Here's the magazine. It is that. It's this. See? It's a real thing. I'm not just trying to say it. So. We used to fly. We had national events every month back then that they would be all over the country. And I would usually go to like 6 out of 10 a year that I would have to fly to. And then I could usually drive to at least 2 more of them. So I didn't make all the events, but I tried to make as many as possible. And, I did that for a handful of years. But it was probably 3 or 4 years. And you run into a lot of situations. When we started doing more scale stuff, and you'd start doing like TTCs that had water, That was the only time I ran into other issues, and that was because I ended up with like water in my tires. And you'd go through, and they would, they squeezed the tire, and water came out, and they're like, "You've got liquid here. How do we know that this is more or less than 2 ounces?" It's like, oh. So, yeah. I would like to install straight axles in my Red Cat Gen 9. You think the SCX10 2 axles would be a good choice? Let's see. Those, I would think that wouldn't be too bad. You are going to have to adjust gearing because the Red Cat's going to have more gearing in the stock portals than the SCX10 2 axles will have. So you are going to have to adjust the gearing in the transmission, probably by your pinion and spur, to get the gearing more in an appropriate place. But other than that, I would think that you'd probably be pretty close to a decent fit with those. Hobby Room, thank you. Flew back from DC with a new JR airplane radio. And when they asked what this equipment is for, I responded with, for controlling aircraft remotely, with a smug smile. Big mistake. Oh shit. Oh. See, massive smartass as well, but a couple of places, that's one place usually where I try and keep my extremely smartass remarks to a minimum. That one may be the absolute limit. I would like to install. That was the one I just read. Vanquish Grease in stock soon. That is a item on my list. I will have to. I can't give you an answer on that today. It's my goal to. Let's see. Too many Missourians here. I still identify as a Missourian too. Be careful when you're a smartass to a cop. Be careful when you smartass, cup runneth over. Yeah, I know. You got to be careful when. You know, the other time to not be such a smartass is at the doctor. I said something to my doctor last time, and she asked me if I needed to see a therapist. It's like, well, you obviously don't get the joke. I'm way funnier than you understand. Are SAD shocks set a pair or all 4? They are a pair. 2 per package. Yeah. Honestly, we should all probably have a therapist. Oh, I agree. I've gone through some. Too smart for the room a lot myself. I can't share most of the things I find funny. Fully agree. I got a couple of friends that I like. Listen, we're on the same wavelength. Like, I would, if you told anybody, this is our therapy session. Yeah. I don't need anybody to tell me I'm crazy. Yeah, exactly. I already know. Oh, boy. Well, gents, tonight I am likely going to call this early. 1, so that I can get some things done. 2, so I can eat some food, because did I have lunch? I don't know why I'm so hungry. I did have lunch. It was a salad, though. Crazy like a fox body weight. I swear. That insomnia might be real, though. Nip it before it becomes... I get decent sleep. I mean, it's mainly when I'm working that I have to keep working. I'm tired afterwards. But like, when I need to go to sleep, I'm asleep. And I'm asleep in like minutes. It's just that I don't let myself sleep enough. And so, anyway, but for tonight, sleep deficit is a thing. I agree. Hope you all have a good weekend. And I'm going to do work so that I can make videos so that you can see them later. But for today, we're going to call this thing. Says the guy that's always late. I know. That I'm always late because I can't wake up because I'm too tired because I didn't sleep enough. Yeah. That's going to do it. See you guys on Monday for Tuesday. Ooh, no. Matt and I have a release on Monday. We have a video Monday. So you'll see us then. I think. As long as everything goes well. Anyway. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you soon.